Hello all and welcome back to First Impressions. And I just watched Age of Ultron. Yeah, I realize I'm a little late to the party on that, but in my defense, I tried being on top of that shit for a bit there. But money issues meant I couldn't go see it. Movie theater, other things popped up. And then I started making videos about stuff like this. But I had to put it even further behind all my other stuff on my scheduled shit to make videos on. So yeah. Heck, the only reason I'm even making it now is because Gamefly sent me this instead of Dragon Age 2. Alright, Right. I have been waiting for a while, and I'll just say it now. This was a fantastic movie. I love it. It's every bit as good as the first movie, though for different reasons. I understand not everyone agrees with that, but it is amazing I managed to stay so spoiler-free on this movie. While still understanding enough to know that at least a lot of people seem to hate it. Or at least a lot of nerds. Not most of them, but not a small amount by what I've seen. Or at least by the amount of bitching. From little I've gathered, apparently lots of people are, hold on. Tend to blame Tony for the events that happen in this movie, specifically Ultron happening. In universe, I can understand that. Out of universe, it's Wanda's fault. It is entirely Wanda's fault. Every bit of it. Okay, a little blame goes to Bruce Banner, too, for helping. But, no. She's all Wanda Maximoff's fault. The absolute crazy bitch that she was. It probably is. Which, to be fair, is perfectly accurate to her characterization in the comics. What with the events of House of M. Or even the minor problems she's caused. Like when she put a, Sentinel, that's what they were called, big purple robot guys, to sleep once, and it woke up and went Punisher. Literally. It painted itself and Punisher, and got giant robot-sized Punisher gear. So weird. But yeah, no. Things going wrong with when she's involved. Perfectly in character. Especially when she's trying to do big things. But, yeah. I know a lot of people tend to complain about the sense of humor in Marvel movies, or more accurately, the sense of humor that Marvel movies use that other movies may use. Like Last Jedi. Now, personally, I don't get it. I don't like it. I like a healthy dose of humor mixed with my darkness. Thank you. I'm not in the mood to be depressed, so when I watch stuff like this or Star Wars, so I don't get what the problem is. I think it's hilarious. I think most of the humor is hilarious, especially in this movie. The one-liners in this movie are fantastic. Like, hold on, I've got a few here. Literally, okay. Can we hold them? They're the Avengers. Because that bitch basically sums it up. Can those agents of Hydra hold them? No. They're the Avengers. Of course they can. And of course, when Shocker gives his little speech about no surrender, I'm gonna go surrender. You delete the file. Delete everything. But, yeah. On a side note, on the lead up to this movie, I saw ads, much for, other Marvel stuff, which I'm been excited to see after this. You know, Ant-Man, more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, which I've heard about, but I haven't seen anything of, because it was made after that point and could involve spoiling shit that happens in this movie. Yeah, I know, Carter takes place in the past, but... Which, by the way, I'm not going to do any reactions to, or any really big reviews for, the shows. I might do an end of season for some of them, but that's a big, maybe. It was really great to see the Avengers back in action. This movie. It really was. At the start of this movie, especially. Especially like that action shot. When they were fighting together at the beginning of the movie. So much so I'm using it as a thumbnail. But, how did they lose track of Loki's staff? Because I have a note here about, is that Loki's staff? Or what was up with Loki's staff? And of course, that Quicksilver and, his sister. Yep. By the way, he was right. I did not see his death coming. I'm skipping around with the notes here. But yeah. By the way, some of the action moments in the movie especially got me going good. That bike toss when Cap just stopped. That was fucking amazing. I loved it. That was great. Just a flip, hurl. That was awesome. So was that shield smash thing he did with, Thor. So when we first saw the base of the bad guys, I was, based on the, accents, I was thinking, wait, is this Hydra? It feels like it might be Hydra. Eventually, I heard the name Strucker, and I'm like, Strucker? That sounds familiar, how do I know that? And it was Baron Struckers, who I vaguely know as a Hydra guy, so. There's a good reason we're not remembering him. Not that he's much relevant past this movie, what was his death? Feel like he was smart enough to go and surrender to them and hope for better care in prison from it. Also, why was I mean, again, there was a romance between Wanda with Black Widow and Bruce, but why exactly was her, taking her glove off and just touching the Hulk's hand would calm them down so much? By the way, that was not something I saw coming. A Black Widow, I keep saying Wanda. Natasha, Bruce Banner romance. Not see that coming at all. By the end, I was feeling it. Unfortunately, it didn't end well. It might have, but then Hulk was on the jet. It was kind of sad there. Like, it seems that Hulk and Banner were in agreement. They both wanted to leave. They were done with that. Because she made it clear she wasn't done fighting. Same guy. On a side note, I'm not sure if I'm enjoying this version of the Hulk as much as the one in Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon, but the way that handled the Bruce and Hulk dynamic. But I still like the way they do it. I don't think it's bad. It just, if you're not familiar, in that one, it was handled by basically Hulk wanting to stay out and do his own thing. And eventually agreement was made. Like, Hulk gets to stay out and play hero most of the time, because he has no problem playing hero to make people like him. Means they'll stop shooting at him. And Banner gets like once a month to go fishing or something quiet. The way it works in the show is actually really nice. But yeah. Bits and slope. I wrote something here. I have no idea what it is. And huh. Right. Oh, yeah. A bunch of stuff taken from the Battle of New York there, and one of them being Ultron 10. I'm like, wait, hold on. I thought Tony built, because that part was the only part that I understood. I thought Tony built Ultron. If he built Ultron out of the remains of robots recovered from this factory, then I can sort of understand why people were mad at it. Then Wanda fucked with his head, and he grabbed the staff, and like, okay, a bit more understandable. It's Wanda's fault. I've got goddamn it, Wanda. Rin, throughout my notes at several points, that one's up being the only one that's underlined. Which one I think? Thor's little attempt at encouraging Banner on it. That was funny. A lot of moments in this movie is funny. Like, Caps take that to what Hill said. What kind of monster would let a German scientist experiment on them to protect their country? The first thing I saw when I saw the staff's mind, aka Ultron's mind, as projected, which, weird, but okay, was it looked kind of brainy. Side note, Ultron going in this version of Ultron is so different than normal. Which makes sense. He was made by Tony, but even then, it's not, and seems to have picked up a few of Tony's personality traits, strangely. But at the core, it's not got a lot the same with the old Ultron, which was made by Hank Pym. As such, was more based on his mind. That the old Ultron is, the one in comics, is logical to the extreme. This one is emotional as can be. And some of his insanity makes a little sense since, well, as it turns out, his mind was copied from the Mind Gem. Which, and then put on hardware that, wasn't really good enough to host it. I mean, he clearly did not take the whole, sorry, bit of a headache. Did I do a proper opening for this? I don't think I did. I'll do it now, just in case. Hello all, and welcome to First Impressions. There. Avengers Age of Ultron. Unfortunately, these videos are kind of required being first impression with it fresh on my mind. But, Yeah. I was kind of sad to see Jarvis alive, so I was actually happy he survived in some form. I was not expecting Vision, by the by. Holy shit, I had no idea about Vision at all. I didn't even know he was in the movies. And not only is he made partly from Jarvis, but it means that Tony was, at that later point, right with his plan to upload Jarvis. That party. I love everything about that party. From Brody, trying to tell stories that for him are really cool, but for an Avengers are like normal, everyday shit. To the little fight between whose woman was better, whose girlfriend was better. The Stan Lee cameo, but those are usually really good. I don't think this one's as good as the one in Amazing Spider-Man, no. Oh my god, that was... Seems I wrote something weird here. Oh yeah, no, that was my comment on Black Widow and Hulk when yeah, I couldn't stop laughing at the moment when Brett Banner was like, "What? No, she's not. No." I just lost my shit there. Oh, and the hammer lift scene. Oh, I love the hammer lift scene because not only did I love it at the time, because I thought it was just an excellent bit of nerdery, including with the fact that Cap could actually move the thing. I especially love the look on Thor's face when when the thing moved, like, and he was so thankful when Cap couldn't actually pick it up, but he could move it. Only for it to turn out to be excellent foreshadowing for Bills twice over. First with Vision just casually handing it to him. I'm just like, that's amazing. But also with Vision using it to attack. I'm just like, oh, that was attack Ultron. That was just great all around. Also, Caps and Steve and Tony's reaction at the end. There was a little discussion about that. I am surprised at how quickly this went. See, what little I knew about this movie had led to me thinking it would turn out much differently and would in a way that made Tony look much worse. That Tony had, built Ultron, and it started insidiously acting away. Others weren't trusting him, but he was were slowly but surely put off by the project until eventually Ultron went evil. No, Ultron just went cuckoo straight from the beginning. I do really like this Ultron. I don't think if I like him better than the original, but I do really like this take on Ultron. It's very different, an emotional, arrogant, angry Ultron. Comment more on Vision. I realized the moment he burst out of that tank, that's what he was. I didn't see it at the beginning, but realized what was happening until he burst out of that tank. But the moment I saw the way his face looked with that little yellow gem, Vision! That was basically my reaction right there. Just screaming Vision and laughing. Because, yes! I also had a similar reaction when he picked up the hammer. So it was just it. Now my throat's a little sore. An incredibly great movie all around. But yeah, I really did expect it to take longer for things to go wrong. Like, at least halfway into the movie. With most of the problems being insidious. Although the whole, Ain't Got No Strings song. I don't know why he was singing that. But it did mess with me, well, mostly due with the fact that robotic Pinocchio in another show I like is like one of my favorite characters. But I won't go into that. Let's see, I've already covered not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting your standard logical anti-human Ultron. Not this. Really not this. Also, Wakanda! Starting really laying out the, foreshadowing for that, Black Panther movie, yeah. For a second, I thought they were going to reveal that adamantium also comes from, Wakanda, but no, they just went with, vibranium, and that, whatever alloy the, shield has, the main thing in it that makes it special is the, vibranium, whereas in the comics, it's the perfect mixture of vibranium and adamantium that has never been recreated ever since. But yeah, I really liked how that everything to do with that arms dealer though, like how he was not at all intimidated by anything to do with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Sorry, my throat's sore. I'm having a drink with soothe it a little. Okay, my throat's hurting a lot, actually. Yeah. Feels a bit like some of my tonsils have reinflated a little. Point is, I really liked all that, from Ultron getting really angry and then getting apologetic and angry, or being lonely when Wanda and clearly at least a little lonely when Wanda and Pedro left him because he was a lunatic. Like, this Ultron is obviously just completely batshit bonkers. And it's such a different way than the usual Ultron. I really liked that. I really did. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's better, but yeah. I really found it funny though when, Pedro went out. Oh, hey, grabs the hammer. Ow. That was hilarious. I cracked up laughing really hard there. I do have to compliment them on how he used the super speed in this movie. I haven't seen the other movie he was in yet. The X-Men one. If I understand, the super speed is better than that one. But I do like how he used the super speed to move Wanda about. So she could mind control someone, then move. Mind control someone, move. That's actually a good use of super speed and mixing with Wanda's powers, which, whatever the hell they are here. Like, in the comics, her powers were a mixture of actual magic and, mutant power of probability manipulation. At least one version of her had that. Which is a really, really bullshit combination. Because it was chaos, because if I remember correctly, it was chaos magic plus probability manipulation equals cheating. Just pure outright cheating. But, yeah. I did like how Hawkeye, the only one who got his mind messed with before, just casually to her head. But yeah, god damn, those visions were brutal. I do like the fact that it didn't just mess with Thor's head. There was actually something buried in it that she didn't do on purpose. Because he's not mortal. He's an Asgardian. So it makes sense doing something like that to his head would do weird things besides what she normally does. That being said, to quote what I said again, God damn it, Wanda. Also, the Hulk Luster armor. It was finally good to finally see that in action. I really liked it. Both the using of the case to hold the Hulk down for a bit, to the fact that he could call on extra bits whenever something was torn off. That was really clever. I hadn't even thought of that. I just thought it was the base suit, but the ability to call on more pieces whenever some part of it got broken was a great idea. I mean, if you can't outlast the Hulk, if you can't stand up to the Hulk, at least you might be able to outlast him. I really liked a lot of those scenes with the family after they went hiding, after Ultron kicked their ass and kind of embarrassed them with the Hulk. Also, once again, a Ultron who wanted to be flesh and blood. Well, flesh and blood and vibranium, like the Vision is so weird, because the other one would never stoop so low that it won't have anything to do with flesh and blood. It's so different than his usual MO. It honestly is. It's strange. Of course, I wasn't expecting the flesh and blood to turn into Vision, so that was a great surprise. Nick Fury's sudden appearance was great. I was expecting it to be someone in there waiting to have a chat with Tony, but not Nick Fury. That was just a great scene, and so was the following scene. And basically everything to do with Nick Fury was great in this movie. Also, the moment I realized that was an Infinity Gem inside the staff when it was pulled out, I'm like, what? What? Okay, why is that in there? Why would Thanos have trusted Loki with an Infinity Gem just to get another Infinity Gem? It clearly didn't help as much as it thought it would. But apparently, judging by that ending scene with Thanos, I cannot wait until Infinity War. I've been hyped ever since I saw Thanos at the Avengers 1. Oh god, that scene. I loved it. Invading Earth would be courting death. So. And I'm like, just the words Thanos wanted to hear. But yeah. I was not expecting that to be the Infinity Gem. And that makes the fourth one, right? We've seen so far. So the next two will probably appear some point in Guardians of the Galaxy either 2 Ant-Man, almost certainly one of them will show up for Doctor Strange. I just know it. I think that fits right in with that. With what that dude does. Will the last one show up during Infinity War? I'm just really curious because the 4 we've seen so far, unless I'm horribly mistaken, that we've seen the 5th one already before. Or yeah, I suppose the Mind Gem would be the 5th one in that case. The Tesseract, the Aetherium from Thor 2, the Purple Gem from Guardians of the Galaxy, and this one, the Mind Gem. But okay. Yeah. So not only did he have a vision about the fact that somebody was gathering the gems, he had a vision about Vision specifically. I just love that. His name makes so much sense here. He's someone's vision of the future. It was seen in a vision of the future. He lives because of a vision of future. Blah, 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 blah. And again, goddamn it, Wanda. I was happy to see Jarvis back, as I mentioned. I was extremely happy about Vision. I once again wrote down Cap and the equivalent of Cap's hammer lift. And then when we saw what he was planning with the machine, I honestly thought that was an earthquake machine. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit worse than an earthquake machine. Or better. His plan was to have some of humanity. Original plan, anyways, was to have some of humanity survive. Though, honestly, you could easily have vibranium make an earthquake machine, which is why I thought it was. No, he was turning a city into a meteorite. Let's see, there was a helicarrier rescue, which was awesome. Pedro was right, I didn't see his death coming. Well, so much for that ship in regards to, Hulk leaving. I don't think Ultron's dead. I mean, it's Ultron. I mean, I'll give Vision points. He was smart enough to try to hunt down all the pieces or he'd survive, but this is Ultron. You don't kill Ultron. He'll always survive. He's like Sigma from Mega Man. He's a cockroach. No, he's cockroaches. You will never get all of them, no matter how much you try. Nuke the fucking site from orbit. They'll still be there. Outlasting you. All you can do is take care of the problems when it shows up. I also like that scene with Black Widow, which was where I got, is he lonely? Because he mentioned the fact that he was trying to tell some things to Black Widow since she was the only one he can now. Like, the guy might have had a COD complex the size of the solar system, but he clearly at least somewhat cared for Wanda and Pedro. Hell, even warned her to leave or she'd die. At the in there. Yeah, for all these problems, this one was a much more human Ultron than I'm used to. And I like that. I wonder if that'll stay in the future versions of him. Oh well. I personally can't wait to see what's happening in the rest of the Marvelverse now. Finally get to see Daredevil and Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. I'm a bit away from the Punisher. Yeah, for all the problems Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had in Season 1, I did like some of what they did in Season 2. I mean, I haven't seen Season 2. What they did in the latter half of it. Especially that ending cut with Agent Coulson. I love that. That made that season for me. That ending where they had the build up to the villain surviving and to it's not over. And you see Coulson standing there having shot it. No, it's over, folks. Time to go home. I hope we get something like that with Infinity War, since it is the end of this entire arc that's been crafted since the beginning of Avengers. Right. Okay. I'm going to end the video here because my throat's starting to hurt, but a lot again. This was a fantastic movie. It wasn't as good as the original movie. It didn't have the same charm to it when the original movie does, because that was the first time we'd seen something like that happen. But I can't help but feel this movie didn't try to be like that movie, in that way. Instead, it wanted to tell another story for the Avengers, instead of just their origin. So in this case, it's the origin of a whole new batch of them. So it does leave me the question. Why did Civil War happen? I assumed it happened because of some conflict between Tony and Steve at the end of this movie, because of this movie, but no, they seem to have left on great terms. So what the hell led to Civil War? I just hope it's not as dumb reasons as it is in the comics. I've heard it was good, especially with the Spider-Man cameo. Oh, Spider-Man Homecoming! I can't wait to finally see that. I mean, I like the Amazing Spider-Man. In fact, I like the Amazing Spider-Man movies more than I liked the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. And I like those too. So I'm hoping the Homecoming is that also good. But yeah, it was a great movie. I don't think it was a perfect movie. I can't think of much of the flaws at the moment. Maybe a bit more. Maybe we could have had a bit more time to establish the romance between Hulk and Natasha. I mean, Bruce and Natasha, but given me more time to get used to the idea of Wanda as a hero because of how madly she fucked everything up. Is Nick Fury bringing S.H.I.E.L.D. back? Or was this just coming back to S.H.I.E.L.D.? Or was this a temporary resurgence? Are we going to see more carriers involved with S.H.I.E.L.D.? Or was this just another temporary thing? Guess I'll find out as time goes on. Now, it appears I realize I think I might be slightly sick. So I'm going to close that here. Probably for best. Don't want another hour-long movie review like the Last Jedi one. Jesus. Overall, this was a fantastic movie. A great continuation of what we've seen before. And I personally cannot wait until I see the rest of them. Well, I can, and I will, but yeah. This is HighPriest signing it. If you enjoyed this video, oops, I forgot this part. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. This is HighPriest signing out, and I will see you all next time, folks. Goodbye!